It's that time of year again. The major flows are over till goldenrod blooms, which is a ways away, a couple of months. And robbing can be hurtful, to say the least. So to keep those populations going, it's time to feed some dry pollen. And this is how I feed them in the bucket. If you have raccoons, you probably want a screen over the top. But these girls here, they don't have a raccoon problem, thankfully. And so I can just put it out in the bucket. Gotta shake them out. I'm gonna shake some in. Come on, go away. They can follow the bucket. So I only put enough that they can finish in about 2 days. Okay, so I only put about what they can finish in a couple of days, and that's because I have July is my rainy season, and really don't feel like wasting pollen. And they're right back on it. They'll finish that in a day and a half to 2 days. I know it stays fresh. If you start giving them old pollen, that you won't get them to eat it as much, if at all. They're pretty messy about it, but they clean up what they can. And it takes them a couple hours to find it once you put it out. If they're not taking the pollen, then you don't need to feed it to them. They think they have better sources, so they won't take it open fed. I put this out in all of my yards. And the other thing that I have yet to see, but I don't doubt, is they say it can help to calm swarming. So if you have a problem, not swarming, it can help calm down the robbing. So if you have a problem in your yard with, you're doing your inspection and you're dripping a little honey and they start that really crazy behavior, try putting some dry pollen out for everyone to take and see if it doesn't help them. It's said that pollen in the dry form, open feeding, can help quell a robby yard. And I do believe that that's true, because once I've started feeding, I can take honey even though the flow has ended without having robbers ensue. I can do an inspection without having to rush the inspection, not worry about cracking any honey. So yeah, I think it does work. I don't know how much it'll take for each yard, but it's worth a shot. If you have hives that just tend to be robbing, it's worth a shot. Okay, so some things that I think of when I'm feeding pollen and dry pollen do I want to feed my neighbor's bees? Well, I think I have a lot more bees than my neighbors, and so it's kind of a toss-up. The dry pollen in the yard is supposed to quell the robbing, so that's a plus. If I am feeding my neighbor's bees and they're not, then hopefully their bees won't get whatever problems that they might have gotten, and they'll be better off for it. So any healthier bee in the local population may be okay. If I thought I had a week of dry weather, I would definitely be putting out more. Right now, I had rain yesterday, and it was supposed to be sunny. I've had rain every day for the last 2 weeks. I think our local rain just for this year is at something like 30 inches, maybe more. The other thing is that I have close by yards. I put a little bit in every yard, and that way the small nukes don't have to travel too far. And on top of that, there'll be another time when I put pollen patties out for them. But that's definitely going in the smaller ones, not the larger ones. It's the small nukes that'll get their pollen patties. I feed to keep my populations up and build up for the fall. I have a lot of nukes. I don't feed because I think it's a dog and I have to feed it every day. That's why I have them where they are. I want them to take the natural resources and build their stores. I don't think you have to feed pollen. I think hopefully your hive is healthy and you're not just feeding just to feed. There's certain situations in where you have to feed. And my dearth is pretty long standing. From July to almost September, sometimes longer. It takes a long time for that. It takes a long time for the goldenrod to finally get up and bloom. This yard in particular has wildflowers still blooming, whereas I have a northern yard, there's nothing. So you have to gauge your yards. But on the other hand, it's always nice to see the bees taking pollen and knowing that you're giving them what they need. If you have a fear that there's nothing coming in, or you have a small hive, I would definitely feed them. No need to let them starve or die. But if you don't need them, they had a healthy flow, they had a healthy population, there's no reason not to let them kind of go back down at the natural cycle of the season. And then as winter approaches, be sure their stores are up. So, if you want to, then feed.